Who in BNI did not meet with 30 or 40 business owners every week before they joined BNI? Before you joined BNI, who did not meet weekly with 30, 40, 50 business owners? Right, okay. So would it be fair to say that you can probably learn something from them that's going to help you be a better business owner? Okay, so one of the things that they can help you with is how to increase your profits. By the way, this depends more on this than on this. Yeah? So you would increase your profits, you either put your prices up or you lower your costs. There are no other ways of doing that, okay? So, but yes, we can help with that. Can BNI help with lowering costs? Yes. Does anybody know how much it costs to hire a marketing team of 40 people? Does anybody here have a marketing team of 40 people? Okay, no, I'm not talking about your BNI chapter. I mean, in your company, on your ticket, on your dime, does anybody have? No. Why not? It's not because you don't want to access a broader market. It's not because you don't want more clients. It's because it kind of costs a lot of money, right? Good thing about BNI is that it solves that problem for us because each BNI member has a large marketing team. Not a sales team, a marketing team. We'll be talking about the difference. And of course, because basically on average, it takes a business person round about 10 hours to get face-to-face with a client and to get that client to make a buying decision. In BNI, it can be a question of minutes. Okay, so yes, BNI also helps members save time. Now, one of the things that are related to how I said earlier that a lot of BNI members have more business experience than me and so on, so I try to speak business people's language rather than BNI language when I'm speaking to members. Does that make sense? Okay, this is the interactive part of the presentation. You can say yes or no. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So now, I want you to, what I've learned is that everything we talk about in BNI, we have to relate it to the magic symbol. Now, this is a very, very interesting symbol. It comes from, hundreds and hundreds of generations ago, ancient civilization. It's very, very... this is going to be a life-changing experience for many of you in the room, okay? Are you ready to see the magic symbol? Because once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, okay? If you're not ready, cover your eyes, not going to be a problem. Are you ready to see the magic symbol? Yeah? Okay, here it is. Okay, so, in other words, what we do is... Thank you. What we do is... everything we talk about in BNI has to be related to this. Everything we talk about in BNI has to be related to those three things: increasing revenue, increasing profits, lowering costs. If not, we're not speaking the same language. Does that make sense? So now, if we think about the stuff that we talk about in BNI, stuff like the absence rule, stuff like being there every week, stuff like not turning up late, as long as we understand how that affects the magic symbol, and the money that we can make as members, then the rest is easy. But everything we do in BNI has to be related to the magic symbol, and we need to know how things like doing one-to-ones, going to trainings, participating actively in the networking every morning, we need to understand how that affects our income and our profit. Now, let's get three things clear. If we're talking business, we're talking business. So BNI is here to help you sell more. And it's really important to understand that sales is the oldest profession in the world. I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking that something else is the oldest profession in the world, am I right? Yeah, but just so we're clear, that's just really a subcategory of sales, okay? So that person really is selling, believe it or not. I'm not going to tell you what I had to write in Google to find that image, okay? This just stays, don't tell my wife, this just stays between us. Are we cool? Okay? Okay. So, sales is the oldest profession in the world. That's the first thing. The other thing is that there are no sales without marketing. Nobody knows you exist unless they know you exist. In other words, you're not going to get face-to-face with a potential client unless they know you exist, they know your product exists, and they know why that product is going to be beneficial to them. I'm going to repeat that last part. Why your product is going to be beneficial to them. That's kind of key because we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. No sales without marketing. And your fellow BNI members are your marketing team. They are not your sales team. I know we hear that occasionally. As far as I'm aware, your fellow BNI members do not go out and close sales and take payments for you. Their job is to get you face-to-face with a potential client so that you can go in and close the sale. That makes sense? Okay. Now, the interesting thing about sales, if we want to know how BNI can help us sell, we probably need to understand a little bit about sales. Now there's an expert, world expert guy called Brian Tracy, who knows a lot about sales, and he says that there is a law of 6 in business, and there is a law of 6 in sales, where the number 6 kind of starts to repeat itself. For example, there are 6 stages in the sale. The first stage is the contact. We need to know who we need to be speaking to about our client. Once we're speaking to somebody, we need to qualify them as a potential client. Am I speaking to the right person? Could this person be really interested in my product or service? Yeah? And the next one is what's called the approach. Now, the approach is kind of like the beginning of the sales presentation, and this is where, in my opinion, this is where all the money is made or lost. Because the interesting thing about the approach is that you really have to grab people's attention because they have 1,000 things on their mind. Bear in mind that nowadays we are receiving an average of about 3,000 advertising impacts per day. 3,000 advertising impacts per day, which means we have to filter a lot of information. So we have to grab people's attention. They need to know instantly why they should listen to you, okay? And there's a very good example of an approach, what we would call a preoccupation breaking approach. This was invented by a guy, a salesperson in a company called Corning Glass. This was an American company, and their specialty was safety glass. Okay, so they sold glass that didn't shatter. They sold bulletproof glass, this kind of thing. This guy came onto the sales team. He was new, and he went to the warehouse, and he got a bunch of 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter square pieces of glass. And he took these to, when he went to visit potential clients, he took these pieces of glass and he took a hammer. And he went in and he said, hi, good morning, would you like to see a piece of glass that doesn't shatter? And he put it on the desk right in front of the person. And he said, I don't believe it. And he took out that hammer and hit it as hard as he could. Now, of course, the person behind the desk covers his eyes and thinks, what? That's amazing. And the guy just took out his order book and said, how much do you want? That was his preoccupation breaking technique. So in other words, you need to listen to me for this reason, okay? The interesting thing about that is that in his first year, he became the top salesman in the company. So, of course, the sales manager, the CEO, etc., they all said, right, we need to do what this guy's doing. So they all ordered these 20 by 20 pieces of glass and hammers for all of the sales team, gave them to him. They went out and they sold glass by the truckload. I mean, they sold so much glass. But the interesting thing is that the following year, he was #1 again in the sales rankings. So they say, well, how did you do it? And they said, well, I knew you were going to steal my technique. So now what I do is I go in, I put the piece of glass on the desk. I said, you want to see a piece of glass that doesn't shatter? The guy says, I don't believe it. Then I give him the hammer, and I say, hit it as hard as you like. And they start doing this. And at the end, they're really trying to break it. And what he did was he realized the importance of involving his potential client in the process, and they understood the necessity of it. And then at the end, they just say, same thing, how much do you want? And he would continue to sell, and he was still #1. So number 3 is the approach, really important. By the way, if you have not got these 6 steps in your sales process, you could be missing 1 or 2 sales, okay? Next one is the presentation itself. Presentation, by the way, is not just you talking about your product and how wonderful it is. A product, so a couple of rules in sales. There are no sales without questions. There are no sales without objections. Okay, so a presentation basically is you mention one of the benefits of your product or service, and you ask a question. So this product has these characteristics. Is that of interest to you? Would that solve a problem for you right now? If the answer is yes, you keep pressing that hot button. If the answer is meh, then you move on to the next benefit or advantage to that product, and you ask a question again, because you're always trying to gauge the interest of your potential client. Is this interesting so far? Yes. Okay. Next step is you have to establish the key benefit and manage objections. So once we've spoken about, let's say I have a product which has 10 benefits, okay? I get to number 3, and all of a sudden, the person I'm speaking to says, "Oh, Mark, thank the Lord you came. I'm so glad you." I don't say, "Well, okay, wait a minute, because I have to now go to number 4 and then to number 5." No, I've found the key benefit, okay? That's all I need to know. Now I'm just going to keep repeating that key benefit, keep pressing that hot button so that that person gets more and more excited about the prospect of buying. It's possible that there are going to be objections. Now, the interesting thing about the law of 6 is that there are not only 6 stages in the sale, there are a minimum of 6 key benefits that every product or service have, and you need to know exactly which your 6 key benefits are, and you need to know who to share those 6 key benefits with. Who do you think would be a good team of people to share your 6 key benefits with? Your BNI members, your marketing team. How are they going to go out and get you face-to-face with your potential clients if they don't know what your 6 key benefits are? Okay? Now, the interesting thing also is that there are 6 key objections. Okay? And it depends on the products. We're going to see, as an example, we're going to see very quickly now what are the 6 key benefits to BNI membership, what are the 6 key objections to BNI membership, and I'm going to get you to think about what your 6 key benefits are and what your 6 key objections. Wait a second. No, don't go. Is that okay? What? You want to see the tie? Okay. Good. You got to love a photo op. Okay. So, what I should have done was this. So, 6 key objections, right? No, you ain't getting a picture of that, mate. Okay. So, what are the 6 key objections? Obviously, price is probably going to be in there for most of you, I would guess. But there are maybe other objections like, I don't know, it takes too much time, I don't believe in the guarantee, or I've heard stuff about your after-sales service. Whatever it is, you need to be frank with yourself, honest with yourself, and say, these are the objections, and then figure out really convincing answers to those objections, and address those objections as part of your sales presentation before the answers even come up. But if they do come up, you're ready for them, yeah? Okay, and of course, the last stage in the sale is what? The close. Which is okay, I've done sales consulting, sales training. When I explain this in my introduction, what do you think everybody says? They say, okay, no need to teach us the first 5 bits. Forget about the first 5 steps. We're cool with that. We don't have a problem with that. Teach us how to close. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way, right? You need to walk through the first 5 steps before you get to the 6th. Now, let's go back to this idea of 6 key benefits, okay? So if we're talking about BNI, really quickly, what are the 6 key benefits in BNI? You have a large marketing team. We've spoken about that already. You have exclusive marketing rights. It's only you and nobody else in your professional category in BNI, yeah? You also have a continual source of referrals. Now, what kind of problem are we solving with that? Who knows exactly how many new clients and what revenue is going to come into their business over the next week unless they're in BNI? Nobody. You can plan ahead with BNI. You know exactly how, if I ask you, and it's going to vary depending on your business, how many good referrals do you think I could get? If I do a one-to-one with Sam, okay? I do a one-to-one today with Sam. During that one-to-one, I teach him what my 6 benefits are. I teach him what my 6 main objections are and how I respond to those objections. I teach him how my sales process works. In other words, I say, okay, Sam, just so you know, if you're speaking to a client, let's say I do plumbing repairs. Okay, so just so you know, if you go and you see a client, first thing you need to do is gauge the urgency of that situation. In other words, is their kitchen completely flooding? Or do they have a dripping tap, which is like really annoying? Okay, so first of all, gauge the urgency. Secondly, the way I usually work is the following. I will go and visit and establish the correct way forward to solve that person's problem, okay? Then, if it's not urgent, I may actually fix it then and there. If it's not urgent, I'll go away and I'll prepare probably 2 proposals, send them to them via PDF, by email, and I will call them the next day to see if they've made a decision. Okay, then I will go and I will do the repair, and I will probably go a week after that, or I'll phone them or I'll email just to see if they're okay, and then I will be touching base with them 6 months after that as well. So that's my sales process. That's how my sales process works. Now, do you think if Sam goes away from that one-to-one and he knows my 6 key benefits, my 6 key objections, and he knows exactly how my sales process works, how many referrals do you think I could get from Sam during the next 12 months from that one-to-one? So I'm not talking just about that meeting. I'll be lucky if I get 1. But during the next 12 months, if he has all of that information about me, about my business, how many referrals could I maybe hope to get from this relationship with Sam over the next 12 months? Somebody give me a number. 6? 3? Do you know what? I'll take 3. 3's, okay? I'm going to take 3. Next question. How many want to, if I know I can get 3, let's make it 2. I know I can get 2 clients from a really good one-to-one. How many one-to-ones do you think I'm going to do in a month? Scratch that. How many one-to-ones do you think I'm going to do in a week? It's 2 clients, guaranteed. How many am I going to do? I'm going to be doing at least 1 a day. Why would I not? And for those of you who think, I don't know if I've got the team to handle all that business, hire people. It's not that hard. But if you've got a team who's willing to give you business like that, you'd be crazy not to make the most of it. So, 4th key benefit, extended network. There is a network beyond your chapter, folks. There are other people in other chapters in Israel and outside of Israel who want to get to know you and your business. Even people who are in the same business as you. Don't think of them as competition. Think of them as people who can, who maybe do stuff that you don't, and maybe you do stuff that they don't, and you can probably collaborate. Strong relationships and support. We've all experienced the solitude of the business owner at some point. Just being with other business owners once a week adds value. And of course, there's the training which we give as well. Now, these will be the 6 key benefits. You know all this stuff. I'm not teaching you anything here. I'm giving you examples. What I want you to think about now is, what are your 6 key benefits? You're not going to have time to get them all down right now, but please make a note somewhere that you need to establish the 6 key benefits for your star product or star service. Okay? The product or service that you most want to sell through BNI, what are the 6 key benefits of those? I'm going to give you a minute. I'd like you to speak to your neighbor and maybe just come up with a couple of benefits each one, and why you think that's a benefit. Because here's the thing. If you don't know what your benefits are, who can you ask? Ask your clients. You can always call somebody up and say, you know what, you've been a client of mine for the past 3 years. We have a great relationship. Can I just ask you, why did you buy from me? Why did you buy this product? Why did you buy from me? And they'll tell you. They'll say, well, I buy from you because of this reason. That's one of your key benefits. So I'm going to give you a minute. This is going to be, by the way, can you promise that when I say the minute's up, we can all regroup, go back into silence and continue with the session? Please. Good luck. Okay. So I'm going to count to 3. You have 1 minute, 30 seconds each. Mention 2 of your key benefits. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, everybody count with me. Everybody count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, can't hear you. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right, good. Okay, everybody come back. Everybody come back. If you can hear me, say shh. If you can hear me, say shh. See, that wasn't so hard. You're very well behaved when you try. Okay, now, next thing. Okay, so all of the people who are talking right now don't want to know how to handle objections in their sales process. Is that right? We can skip this part. Should we go on to the next bit? Okay. Okay, I'm going to wait because there are some very important conversations taking place, so I'm just going to wait. Okay, we ready to move on? Okay. 6 key objections. Now, you need to be ready to answer. When we start in sales, okay, here's how I started in sales. My first sales job, I was selling insurance. I got a lot of objections. I did a lot of cold calling, a lot of cold visits, and there's always a reason why people don't want to talk to you. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is understand where they're coming from, what key objections they might have, and have answers ready. Okay, so what are the key objections? Just for an example, what are the key objections to BNI? You've heard of all this. Does anybody here participate in visitor orientations? Obviously, I'm only speaking to the people who aren't having a conversation now because they're okay. Good. So you participate in visitor orientation sometime? Okay, so you'll have heard this stuff many times. Okay, so every week, don't know if I can make it every week. It's too early. Oh my, you really meet at this time every week? Yes, we do. Okay, it's too expensive. It takes too long. My business is a funny business. It's going to take me forever to get a return. I don't believe these something or other. I don't believe these are this. This is one of the. When I hear this, I have to really control myself. When you hear somebody say, "Do you know what? I like the concept. The concept's good, but I just think the people here, they're not at my level. You know what I'm talking about? It's that they're not." And at that point, I think, "Oh, really? Okay." What you don't know is that this guy over here, who just happens to be a one-man band electrician. He works for this multinational, for that multinational. He plays golf with whoever. So you're not seeing the network. You're only seeing the people in the room. Don't make that mistake. And the other one is, I don't believe I can help them. Now, for me, that's almost a guarantee of, I want you in the team. If they say, I love this. I see how it works. I just don't know if I can help these people. I think, don't worry about it. We'll work with you. I'll sit down with you if necessary. You're going to get trained. It's going to be okay. So now you can guess what's next. What are the 6 key objections in your business? What's the stuff that you're tired of hearing all the time? Do your fellow BNI members know what the main objections are? And you know what the answer to that is, right? The answer is, it's not cheap. And there are some really good reasons why this product or service may appear more expensive than the competition. And let me just take 5 minutes to go through them with you. And you make a list. It's like whenever you give somebody the final price, you never say, "Oh, well, so this is the product and this is the price." Never, ever. Even if that product is BNI membership, by the way, just for directors in the room. What you say is, "Okay, so I bet you're wondering how much this is going to cost." That's the good part. Okay, so let's just go through what you're going to get as part of your being a client with this product. So what you're going to get is, you said you wanted the large model. We've got the large model in stock. You said you wanted the blue one. We can got the blue. You said you prefer to have it delivered to your warehouse instead of to. We can do that. You said that you'd like it on this date. We can also do that. You said you'd be interested in going for the extra guarantee. We can do that. You said you'd be interested in having a personal advisor, somebody who can help you out if you need it. We can do that. You said you wanted somebody to go and train your people to learn how to use it. We can absolutely do that. And you said that the goals that you're hoping to achieve by implementing this system is blah, 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 and we can help you with that. And for all of this, the price is only so much. Okay, so you never just say, "Here's the price," because you know what they say when you tell them the price. No, they don't usually say it's too expensive. They go, "Well, I'm going to think about it." Right? Or I'm going to ask my wife, partner, cousin, dog. And we have the audacity as salespeople to think that they're going to go away and they're going to think about it. Oh my word, I've just spoken to Yarden about this clicker, and she's thinking about it. She's going to go home, she's going to talk to her husband, they're going to have dinner, they're going to talk about it in family. I saw this amazing clicker tonight. Oh, it's just amazing, and I'm really going to think about it. Then they go to bed, and she's not sleeping just because she's thinking about my clicker. That's not the way sales works, right? So we need to, when again, it's a smokescreen objection. Basically, what it says is, you haven't given me enough reasons to say yes yet. If that happens, here's a really good trick. If you see they're giving you a smokescreen objection, what you can do is say, okay, I can see you like this product, I can see you're thinking about it, but there seems to be something that's holding you back. Can we be honest? Are we talking about the money? And just tackle it head on, because if it's not the money, they'll say, no, it's not the money, and then you can start working on that other objection. Or if it is the money, then you can say, okay, well, let's maybe work out to see if we can come to some kind of arrangement, okay? But always, whenever they say they're going to think about it, if they say, well, yeah, it's okay, but, you say, okay. Because I've presented this in the best way I know how. I really believe this product's going to be good for you. You seem to be interested, but there's something that's holding you back. Can we be honest? Are we talking about the money? And take it from there. Okay, so main 6 objections. Same thing. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Make a note to come up with your 6 objections and the answers to the 6 objections and how you're going to share this information with your fellow BNI members, probably in one-to-ones, okay? But what are the main objections for your product or service? I'm going to give you a minute, 30 seconds each. You speak in pairs. Come up with your main objections. So at least 2, okay? Go. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Is the idea you're going to be sending this out to people afterwards or no? Because I was thinking, if you want, maybe at lunch or at the end of the day, if you want to go through it and say, Mark, what was that idea? Can it help me with this? Just to complete it, I can do that with you as well.
Yeah, because it's never 100%.
Exactly.
Okay. We're going to do the countdown again. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Are you ready? Start counting with me. 10, 9, can't hear you. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make some noise. All right. Come on back. Come on back, people. Come on, give me some sugar. Give me some sugar. Sam, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So feel better already. Okay. Shh. If you can hear me, say shh. If you can hear me, say shh. You guys are so good. You guys are so good. Okay. Now, we were talking about the law of 6. Here's an interesting thing. So we've spoken about the law of 6. We said that there are 6 key benefits. And remember, guys, we don't sell products or services. We sell benefits. And do you want to know how many more times business they get? Have a guess. 6 times more? 25. A member in a chapter of 100 members gets 25 times more business than a member in a chapter of 20. Isn't that interesting? And again, I can, if you want to come and see me afterwards and say, how does that work? I can let you know. Now, coming back to the power teams, who here is thinking, yeah, but we've tried the power team thing and it doesn't work? Nobody. This is the only country in the world where all power teams work perfectly. Really? Okay, so this is then the next part's going to be really fast because you're already masters at this. So what I usually hear is the construction power team's doing really well. and everyone else is like, eh, right? So here's an easy way to think about how to build your power team, okay? What you need to think of is name 6 other products or services that your clients also buy. Okay, in other words, let's say my business is a gym, okay? I know you can tell, thank you. So my business, I have a gym. Where else do my clients also buy products or services? Okay, physiotherapist, sports clothes, sports footwear, nutrition, maybe personal trainer, yeah, massage, general health. Okay, so you can see where I'm going with this, right? So in other words, if I'm a member in a chapter and I have a gym, if I don't have those professional categories in my chapter, I'm losing money. Because they already sit down every single day, they're already face-to-face with my potential clients. It's really easy for them to refer me. So in other words, coming back to this, name 6 other products or services. Don't do this now. This is one of those takeaways. You can do it in your own time, but just think about this. 6 other products or services that your clients buy from other businesses. If those other businesses aren't in your chapter, figure out a way to get them into your chapter, because that's when the big bucks are going to come your way, okay? When you have a power team that's really already connected to your target market. Yes? Make sense? Awesome. Okay. You okay? Oh, am I getting a call? I'm getting another call. This is crazy. Okay. All right, can you? Yeah, I'm not answering this one either. Somebody from Louisville, Kentucky. I have no idea who that could be. Okay. So, in other words, just to wrap up, if you want to get a good return on investment, by the way, it was great to have somebody mentioning ROI, return on investment, earlier. It kind of, knits in well with what we're doing here. So if you want to have a really good return on investment in BNI and have fun, and by the way, that's so important. One of the things that our most productive chapters have in Spain is that, how can I say this? They see each other regularly and they really believe in partying. Okay, so these chapters are the chapters that go out, all of the members with their families, they'll go on a day trip at a weekend. Or they'll meet up and they'll have this huge dinner. Or in holidays, they'll have kids' day. So all of the kids will come because they're not at school, because they're on holiday, and they'll come to the chapter meeting, and it's the kids who give the weekly presentations. But they're seeing each other constantly, and they have this really close relationship going on. And they really have a good time, and they are doing more business than everyone else. Okay, so that's important. So focus on the magic symbol. Do you remember what the magic symbol is? Okay. Focus on, plus having fun. Focus also on the law of 6. And finally, and this is a really important one, the 2 T's. In English, what we call the 2 T's. You want a business to grow, you have to focus on the 2 T's. And the 2 T's are, you might want to write this down, team and training. Always be selecting new team members. Always be figuring out how to train your team members. In a business term that you may have heard of are, I know what this is in Spanish. Am I going to be able to figure out this in English? Okay, so actividades generadoras de ingresos. So revenue producing activities. So your RPA. So you have income producing IPAs, income producing activities, and you also have IRAs, income reducing activities, okay? So in any business, the business owner, the person who's responsible for bringing money into the business, needs to be focusing on team and training. Guess who personally does all of the launch director training in Spain? Me. Why? Because that's the easiest way for me to grow my business. Even though some people say, oh, you shouldn't be training, your time is... No, that's exactly where I should be spending my time. So, focus on magic symbol plus fun, focus on law of 6, focus on 2 T's. For those of you who like formulas like I do, isn't that wonderful? And to be honest, that's everything I know about BNI. I haven't got a clue about anything else. So that's as much as you're going to get from me from today. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.